The black sheep of the family, the odd one out, the generational curse breaker, the one who's called to be different. Whatever you want to call it, every bloodline has one. It's unavoidable. Basically, we black sheep usually have three stages. We go from being the victim to being a survivor, and then finally to being a thriver. The reason why we start off as a victim is because we don't understand or realize what's going on around us. Why people at school pick on us, call us the weird one, make fun of us, bully us, why we live in constant humiliation, and even when we try to speak up, it only gets worse. And when I say worse, I mean it gets us into trouble because we're not allowed to speak the truth or speak up about how we feel. We're supposed to let other people get away with how they treat us and the abuse they send our way at our own expense. And when we do try to speak up, other people try to silence us because they're scared of the truth and they don't want to be offended, even though we're the ones who are forced to disregard our own feelings. I've been there. I was that kid in school. Nobody saw my value. I was counted out because I was different. Back then, I had no idea the black sheep was even a thing until I became older. Not only was I the kid who was bullied, I was also the odd one out of everybody in my family. I was the one who didn't have a career choice growing up. Even when I graduated, I couldn't figure out what I wanted to do. I had everybody in my family pushing me to do this or do that or get this job or that job and basically expecting me to live the way they wanted me to live my life. They were always asking me what my plan was, if I had a boyfriend. The reason why they would always ask me things like these is because all my cousins had a career. They had a stable job, they had a boyfriend or a girlfriend, so they would automatically compare their life to mine. My family and the people from my past used to cause me to have low self esteem and not even see my own value because of the way they treated me. I was always a person of low status. Sometimes they made me feel as if I was a disappointment, all because I was different. So, the reason I am here talking to you today, whoever this may apply to, is because I survived. The closer I became with God, the more revelation I received that I was called to be different. I was never called to fit in. I was called to see the toxic behaviors running in my family and to break those generational curses off my bloodline. I'm happy now because I've already accepted who I am. I am not here to fit in or to live according to the conditions of man. In Jeremiah 29:11 it reads, "For I know the plans I have for you. They are plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future." When we look at the story of Joseph in the Bible, he was the black sheep of the family. His brothers hated him because their father favored him over the rest. Joseph was different. His brothers even tried to kill him because that's how much they couldn't stand him, because of the calling God had already preordained for his life. that Joseph would grow up to be a person of great influence, and that Joseph's prophecy came to pass. Jesus was another black sheep, and this is found in Matthew 26, 27, and 28. Jesus didn't come to live according to this world. He came to set the captives free and save the world of their sin. And because everybody could see Jesus is the Son of God, they hated him. So I believe one of the biggest reasons why your family and others around you don't understand or agree with the way you live your life is because they don't understand God's plan for your life. So they automatically feel entitled to try to control you into living a life that meets your needs only if those needs fit in with what they want and expect from you. They basically don't agree with the way God has called you to live. So it's almost like they know you have this light inside of you, and you never asked to be the black sheep or the chosen one. No, this is the way you were born. It was already on the inside of you when God brought you into this world. Now, I've noticed some of my cousins, they have better relationships with each other because they are respectful only to certain people. But when it comes to me, they used to walk all over me and tell me off, even though I'm older than they are, and they get away with certain behaviors. They would basically see me as an easy target, so they would mistreat me. And if I stand up to them, you can guess who gets into trouble for taking a stand against bad behavior. So if you are like me, the black sheep of the family, don't be surprised if your family doesn't agree with your morals. As the black sheep, this is not an easy walk, especially since you feel alone and isolated. I'm here to encourage you and let you know this is no coincidence that you have stumbled across this video because you are not alone, and there are literally other people out in this world going through the same thing as you and me. The spiritual warfare you've had to deal with almost all your life is of no coincidence. When you were born, the devil already knew you were chosen. He already knew that you were gonna grow up as a threat to the kingdom of darkness, and that's why he's been after you your whole life, trying to discourage you and diminish your light because he hates you so much, and that's why he's basically trying to kill you. And he's manipulating everybody around you into thinking that you are apparently this bad person just for speaking up for what is right. Regardless of whether other people want to hear it or not, you're still gonna do it either way. A black sheep cannot be silenced for life. There comes a time in a season where we do break out of our shell, we break out of our comfort zone, and we speak up because we no longer are afraid or at this point we don't really care about what other people have to say because it's the truth. And let's be honest, the devil may send other people your way to watch your every move and monitor what you say. And your choice of words are literally the things other people would get a pat on the wrist for speaking, but yet when it comes from your lips, You are the one that has to deal with being told off and yelled at, and chances are, when you try to defend yourself, it only gets worse. Now, I don't know if I'm the only one who's had to deal with this, but from what I've noticed, the devil would go so far to try to manipulate me into thinking that even God Himself is mad at me, mad at His very own child. And usually, this is how He would do it. Every time somebody in my friendship circle or my family would get blessed, the devil would then use that to try to remind me that my season would never come and I'm always gonna be the back of the line, no value, no success, just a nobody. Basically, using materialistic things to cause me to have low self esteem. And honestly, I cannot help but laugh at that because I'm already in my season of blessings and I'm happy with who God has created me to be. I've accepted it. If I didn't accept it, then I wouldn't be here taking time out of my day to speak on this platform, to use the gifts God has blessed me with to encourage others who are in my shoes. The closer I became with God, the more I started fasting and reading my Bible, the more I grew to accept that I am called to be different and that's what it is, and that's okay. So don't feel bad for walking into the character that you know is hungry and looking for a way to come out. So to conclude, I am here to tell you being different doesn't make you a bad person. It's really not a bad thing. It's actually a good thing because being different is what makes you unique. People like us are basically diamonds in the rough. A pure heart, who can find? So the way others treat you, don't take it personal because it quite literally has nothing to do with you. It's just a reflection of what they are already dealing with on the inside. So, whoever may resonate with this, if you find yourself in my shoes, I'll leave you with this. Know that God loves you, He has your best interest at heart, and I promise you will find your tribe. The people who understand you. You won't have to over explain yourself because they already get it. And like Joseph, all black sheep are the ones who would grow up to be in a position of great influence, the one everybody would later depend on. God bless.